Hello to everyone. I'm sure that you have heard me saying the phrase, the preparation is the key to success. And because of that, I received a lot of questions on many different topics. But two of the questions that I receive very often are how to prepare our body physically and mentally for long motorcycle trips. And even though I got at least a few videos on similar topics on my channel, I decided to combine these two topics and share my opinion about it. So if you have nothing to do, stay with me. Welcome back. First, I would like to start with something very important. This is maybe the most important thing that you have to take from this video. It is absolutely normal to be afraid. It is absolutely normal to have a fear from long trips if you've never done it before. Also, there is no such a thing like 100% ready. It is impossible. To be 100% ready for your incoming trip does mean that you have to know exactly what will happen on the whole trip. It should be like a straight line with all the points, all the problems that you might have. So you should be something like a Baba Vanga to predict the future, and then you can prepare yourself on 100%. So this is impossible. This is myth. Do you believe that just because I have done a number of trips I am 100% ready all the time? No, absolutely rubbish. Of course I am not. And this is part of the adventure. This is the village of Avren, and here I'm gonna pick up a friend and we're gonna ride in the rear. This is one of these necessary practice days. Подранил? Няма такова нещо. Баща ми ме научи 15 минути по-рано, това е на време. Let's see now what is the popular advice. Because I have heard this so many times, even from very experienced riders, what you need to prepare your body. And some of the advice is that you need fitness, you need running, you need bicycling, you need everything to put you in shape. Well, I partly agree that if you improve your overall health, it will be better. But I don't think that any of this will help you to improve your riding skills on long trips, for example. Alright, the first, fitness. Well, the fitness will help you to improve your overall strength. You're gonna gain some muscles, especially on the upper part of your body. But how much muscles I'm going to need if I plan to stay 8, 10, 12 hours per day on position like that? Not much, guys, not much. Yes, it might help you if you need to lift your motorcycle from the ground, deadlift, if I want to say, but that's all. It's not going to improve your skills or the way you handle long trips. The second option is running. Well, the modern science said that the running is not that healthy as we believed. It is way better just to walk around instead of running. But anyway, even that it will improve your overall health, will help you to lose some weight and gain some strength on the lower part of your body, especially your legs. How exactly this is going to help you? Once again, I'm gonna spend 8, 10, 12 hours sitting like this, and I'm gonna use my legs only when I walk around, and it will be not much for a couple of hours per day if I have these hours at the end of the day. So how exactly running is going to help me on a long motorcycle trips? The next is hiking. The same story. If I don't plan any hikes on my trip, this is not going to help me with my overall preparation for the long trips. Ah, I see. It must be the bicycling. This must be the panacea of everything, because you're gonna spend so many hours on the bicycle seat, your ass will be ready for the long riding days. Well, guys, I'm gonna disappoint you once again. I will tell you that it will not. First, because the bicycle seat and motorcycle seats are absolutely different, and the position of your boot will be different. So even that the bicycling might help you to improve your overall health, it's not gonna improve your riding skills on a long motorcycle trips. I agree that the overall preparation of the body, weight loss and any kind of exercises will help, no doubts about it. But I'm talking about something completely different, and to support my case I have to give you another one example. Last year I was in New Zealand, and in some stage on the North Island I met one wonderful guy, Jeff. Hello Jeff, if you watch this, thank you very much for everything. So Jeff was 72 years old, and we spent one riding day riding on the Coromandel Peninsula. We got around 520-30 kilometers, and for me all of this was fine because this is what I do all the time. I'm 47 years old and I do this from many years. But Jeff was 72. Jeff did it without any problems, without any complaints, and he rode exactly the same as me, without any problems, any asks for stop, for relax, for hold on or whatever. And do you believe that Jeff was with the physics of Apollon? No, it was the average Joe or Jeff that you can find in everywhere around your countries. An average guy. What helps him, it's not his physical preparation, it's not his perfect body or bicycling or walking or hiking or anything. What helps him was his practice. He has a lot of practice riding motorcycles from many years. This is what you need, practice. Ride more and you'll be fine. Ride your motorcycle on the highways. Yes, you have heard me right. This is exactly the opposite what most of the people recommend. But I'm not saying that you have to stay only on the highways. No, you need some practice on the highways. Because sooner or later there will be sections with highways that will be must to take, and you should know how your motorcycle react on such a terrains. It is part of your overall preparation. Ride it slowly around villages, around towns. Learn how to predict any kind of obstacles, just to train your brain to react on anything what is ahead. Riding on some gravel roads or construction works like this might sound like useless to you, but this is what you can face in any moment of your trip. So to have some practice will be necessary. It will give you many answers. You will probably learn how to ride your motorcycle in standing position and many more. In my opinion, guys, it will be much better to learn the necessary skills before the trip instead of try to ride in the middle of the trip when you don't have any practice. So all of this, as I said, guys, it is absolutely necessary to gain some confidence and to feel much better, or to beat the fear. Of course, it will be a good idea to ride your motorcycle on the dirt roads. Nothing special, something like this, just to have an idea what exactly it is, how it handle it, and many more. It is also part of your practice to know the possibilities and limitations of your motorcycle on such terrains. So I have to change gears more often to keep the RPMs between 4 and 5,000 if I want to be able to keep the speed. This is what I'm talking about. When you ride on the trip, you don't know what kind of terrains you are going to face. For example, like here, the road might be diverted and you need to ride a little bit bad roads or dirt roads or off-road, gravel road, whatever. And if you don't have any practice, you will panic. But if you have some practice, this will be fine. You will know what to do and you'll be fine. No worries whatsoever. So conclusion, ride as much as possible, as many different terrains as possible. Something like once per week is not going to be enough. So if you trained your body for one ride per day, how are you gonna handle 7 days per week or 6 days per week? Unless you plan to ride one day and then 6 days stay in the hotel. I hope not. But often you ride, more you ride, better it will be physically and mentally. This is not a big brain game. It is so obvious, guys, so obvious. All right, everything that I told you, these preparations, more ridings every day, more and stuff like that, all of this will help you to improve your riding skills, to gain the necessary strength, to develop the muscle groups that you need to start and hold more on your long trips. But all of this will be done before the trip. So what exercise you can practice during the trips that will help you to actually last many more hours and be more I will say resilient to these long trips. So I do two very simple exercises. Everyone can do it. Usually they takes like 15 to 20 minutes per day. The first is push-ups. I start every morning with push-ups, and it doesn't matter where I sleep, tent, hotel, hostel, or in friend's house. I can start the day with push-ups. I start with 50 push-ups, but you don't have to start with 50. You can make 10, 15, 20, whatever you can make. This will stretch your body, will give it this a different position, because when you're riding your motorcycle, your body bent like that, your head is here and your body bent forward. When you make a push-ups, you actually press your body to bend backward. You actually decompress your spine and release the pain. And this is what I do every morning. And later in the evening, when I finish the trip, I do exactly the opposite. I do pull-ups on the bar. If you cannot find a bar to make some pull-ups, or at least to hang for 30 seconds or a minute, whatever you can hold, what you can do is lie on the ground flat like this. Sometimes I even have a small pillow under my back to stretch my back exactly to the opposite position and release the pain and the shape that I accumulate for 10 or 12 hours. And this helps me so much. I actually lie almost every night for 10-15 minutes, just relax like that, and after that I go to bed. It's so rechargeable and so simple. And as I said, guys, it's 15 to 20 minutes per day. That's it. It is all clear what you have to do to prepare your body, but let's see now what are the tips that I can give you to have a better mental health during the trip. Well, in my opinion, guys, if you have any mental problems or depressions, you have to seek for medical help before the trip. But if you're right, if you never experience any of this, you might have it while you're on the trip. And to prevent all of this will help if you follow the tips and the steps that I told you regarding to the physical health. So let me explain. When you make these different stages, different steps to improve your physical patience during long trips, you will also be able to recognize if this is something that you don't like. Because many people get bored from the everyday life and they decided to buy a motorcycle. They go to the shop, buy the most expensive bike that they can find, a lot of gear, hard panniers, everything that they need, and start on the first trip. And then during the trip they realize that this is not something that they like. So to avoid all of this, you can make a short trips with whatever bike you have, just to realize, is that something that make you happy, or this is something that make you even more unhappy. I think that you will be able to see the first symptoms before you even start during the preparation process. If this is something that you don't like, you don't really enjoy it, you might consider to cancel it. Instead of prepare everything, spend a lot of money, and finally give up in the middle of the trip. Another one very good point that you should have in mind is to have a specific point that you would like to visit. For example, I always got something like the end point of the trip. Let's say I plan to go to Mongolia and back, and I will have a specific point in Mongolia, for example Genghis Khan's monument, and I will teach myself, or I will told myself that I will do everything just to get there, and once I get there I can travel back. So this is like like to have something on focus. No matter what happens with me, I have my focus, I have my point, and I have to get to this point. And this helps me during the hard days when I don't really enjoy the trips, because guys, let's be honest, there will be so many long and boring days when nothing happens, when you have only miles after miles to cover, nothing else. So everything that you have seen in internet, in everyone's videos, these are usually the highlights of the trips, but no one really show you what exactly it is. That's why I prefer my trips and my videos to be a little bit different, to give you at least a part of the real feeling. Another one, very practical prion that I use all the time. For example, if I have ahead a very difficult 1 week ride, I know that every day from this week will be very, very hard, boring and tough. What I always say to myself, you need to survive just 1 day. 1 day is easy to swallow. So if I survive today, I can give up tomorrow. If I survive tomorrow, I can give up the day after tomorrow. And this gives me the strength to have another 1 day and another one and another one. Oh guys, that's everything that I want to say and show today. I hope that this video will help to at least one person to make his trips better. I like to share this beautiful view from my country. Thank you very much for watching, guys.